I was standing at my kitchen sink on a Thursday morning, and my hands were hurting before I had even finished the first task. Not a little sore, genuinely throbbing. I was wringing out a heavy, wet mop head, both hands full force, and I stopped mid-wring and looked at what I was doing. I thought, who told me to do it this way? Who decided this was the right method? Because I had been doing it that exact way since I was in my 20s, every week, without once questioning it. I just kept repeating the same motion with the same result and wondering why my body was paying such a high price. That was not a moment of wisdom. That was a moment of plain exhaustion. But it was the moment things started to change. Here is what I know now that I did not know then. Most of the ways we clean our homes were not designed for us. They were designed for speed, for product sales, for someone else's idea of what a clean home required. Not for our bodies, not for our time, not for the homes most of us actually live in. I have been cleaning homes, my own and other people's, for over 50 years, and the mistakes I made in the first half of that time were not small. They cost me joint pain, wasted money, damaged surfaces, and hours I cannot get back. The 5 I am going to share with you today are the ones I wish someone had sat down and told me plainly. Nobody did. So I am telling you now. My name is Ruth. I am 73 years old. This video is about the 5 cleaning mistakes I finally stopped making and what I do differently now. Mistake number 1, using too much product. There is a belief most of us carry without examining it. More soap means cleaner. More spray means the job gets done faster. More product means you are doing the job right. It feels logical. It is not. It is exactly backward, and the cleaning industry built its entire business model on the fact that we believe it. When you use too much product, too much dish soap, too much floor cleaner, too much surface spray, you do not get a cleaner surface. You get a residue-coated surface. That residue is slightly sticky, and that slight stickiness attracts dust and grime faster than a clean surface ever would. So the floor you just mopped looks dull 2 days later. The counter you just wiped feels greasy by tomorrow morning. And you blame the surface or the dirt when the problem is the product you left behind. I spent 9 years cleaning the home of a woman I will call Mrs. Sterling. Beautiful house, marble floors throughout the main level. She had opinions about everything, including how her floors should be cleaned, and she preferred a very particular commercial cleaner that she bought in bulk and instructed me to use generously. I used it generously because she was the client. Within 3 years, the grout lines were discolored. The marble had lost its natural sheen. She blamed the age of the floors. I knew it was the buildup. But she was the one signing the check, so I kept quiet. That was one of the professional regrets I carry. I should have said something plainly. More product was stripping that floor of everything that made it beautiful. For most everyday surfaces in your home, you need far less than you think. A spray bottle with diluted all-purpose cleaner, 2 tablespoons of cleaner to a full bottle of water, will handle nearly every hard surface in your kitchen and bathroom. For floors, 1 capful of cleaner in a bucket of warm water is sufficient. More than that, and you are just leaving behind work for your next cleaning day. Tell me in the comments, have you ever noticed your floors looking dull or sticky right after mopping? Because that is almost always a product issue, not a dirt issue. I would love to know if this sounds familiar. Mistake number 2, cleaning everything on the same schedule. We were taught, most of us, by our mothers, by habit, by some vague cultural rule, that a clean home means cleaning everything, every week, on the same day, top to bottom, front to back, every room, every surface, same rotation, same schedule. It sounds thorough. In practice, it means you are cleaning things that do not need cleaning, while genuinely dirty things sit waiting their turn. The inside of your refrigerator does not need to be wiped down every single week. Your bedroom baseboards do not need to be dusted every 7 days. But your stovetop? That might need attention 3 times a week, depending on how much you cook. The area around your front door, where outdoor shoes come in and people touch the wall when they pull them off, that needs more frequent attention than most people give it. When you clean everything on the same schedule, you end up over-cleaning some things and under-cleaning others, and you wear yourself out doing it. My grandmother used to say there is a difference between tending a home and cleaning a home. She kept a small handwritten list, just a scrap of paper, nothing formal, organized by how often each task genuinely needed doing. Daily things, weekly things, monthly things, things that needed doing 4 times a year. She had worked it out from experience, not from a magazine or a system someone sold her. She did not repeat work that did not need repeating. She did not own a dirty home. She owned a home that was maintained with intention. The practical step here is straightforward. Go through the tasks you do every single week and ask honestly, does this actually need weekly attention? If the answer is no, move it. Assign it a realistic frequency. Then spend the time you recover on the areas that genuinely need it more often. You will be amazed how much of your cleaning time was going toward things that were already clean. Mistake number 3, scrubbing hard surfaces instead of soaking them. This one took me years to unlearn. When something is stuck, dried food on a stovetop, soap scum on a tile, mineral deposits on a faucet, the instinct is to scrub harder. More pressure, more friction, more effort. And yes, eventually it comes loose. But what you have also done is scratched the surface, aggravated your hands, and spent 15 minutes on a task that did not need to take 15 minutes. 10 minutes of quiet patience saves you 10 hours of throbbing joint pain. I do not say that for effect. I say it because I have lived it, and because my hands told me to change long before my brain was willing to listen. The correct response to a stuck, dried, or crusted surface is moisture and time, not force. Lay a warm, damp cloth over a greasy stovetop and walk away for 10 minutes. Spray a calcium-crusted faucet with white vinegar and let it sit for 15 minutes. Apply a small amount of dish soap diluted in warm water to a stubborn tile and wait. Come back. The thing that was stuck has softened. It wipes away now. No scratching, no effort, no pain. The surface is undamaged. This is the correct method. Not because it is gentle or easy, but because it works better. My grandmother never once had a scratched surface in her kitchen. Not one. She soaked everything. She said patience and hot water solved 90% of what looked like hard problems. She was right. What is the one surface in your home that always gives you trouble? Tell me in the comments. I have probably cleaned it before, and I might have a specific suggestion that could save you a great deal of effort. Mistake number 4, using the wrong cloth for the job. For most of my professional life, I used whatever was available. old towels cut into rags, cheap paper towels from a bulk package, thin cotton cloths that fell apart before the job was finished. I did not think much about it. A cloth was a cloth. That was not correct thinking. A thin, low-quality cloth or a paper towel does not trap particles, it pushes them. You drag the cloth across a dusty shelf and the dust redistributes. You wipe a glass surface with a low-quality paper towel and you see every streak under the light. You spend twice as long trying to get a result that the right cloth would have given you in one pass. The tool matters. It has always mattered. I just was not paying attention. The cloth that changed everything for me was the microfiber cloth. Not because it is new, not because anyone told me to try it, because I picked one up about 15 years ago, one of the inexpensive multi-packs, and used it on my bathroom mirror without any product at all, just a slightly damp cloth, and the mirror was cleaner than it had ever been. That was a stopping moment. I stood there genuinely surprised. I had cleaned mirrors every week for most of my adult life, and this single cloth did it better than anything I had used before. Keep separate microfiber cloths for separate tasks. Mark them if you need to, a simple piece of tape or a different color. One for glass and mirrors, one for counters, one for floors or lower surfaces. You do not want the cloth you used on your toilet coming anywhere near your kitchen counter. Simple system, very effective. Wash them in hot water with no fabric softener. Fabric softener coats the fibers and ruins what makes them work. Mistake number 5. Postponing cleaning until it becomes a crisis. This is the one that costs us the most. Not in any single moment, but across years and years of accumulated effort. We let things go a little, then a little more. Then the job that would have taken 7 minutes 3 weeks ago now takes an hour. And somewhere in that hour, a joint flares up, a surface gets scrubbed too hard, and we tell ourselves we hate cleaning. We do not hate cleaning. We hate what cleaning becomes when we let it pile up into a mountain. I cleaned one woman's home for 11 years. 11 years. And every single time I arrived, the kitchen and the bathrooms were in the same condition, as though she had done nothing between my visits. She had not. She was saving the cleaning for me, which was her right. She was the client. But her own life between those visits was lived in a slow accumulation of grime and clutter and sticky surfaces. I never said anything about it. That was not my place. But I thought about it often. I thought about how much lighter her daily life would have felt if she had spent 5 minutes in the kitchen each evening, instead of waiting 2 weeks for things to reach a threshold she could no longer ignore. The method here is what my grandmother called tending, not cleaning, tending. A quick wipe of the stovetop after you cook, a fast pass with a cloth over the bathroom sink before you leave the room, 2 minutes with a damp cloth in the refrigerator when you notice a small spill. These are not cleaning tasks, they are tending tasks. And tending is a relationship you maintain. Cleaning is a task you complete. When you tend consistently, the big cleaning sessions become shorter, easier, and far less hard on your body. That is not theory. That is what 50 years of experience looks like when you finally stop fighting it. Tell me in the comments, which of these 5 mistakes do you recognize in your own routine? I am genuinely curious. Not to judge, I made every single one of them myself for years. Here is what I want to leave you with. When I was working full-time, cleaning those large homes week after week, I thought the right way to get clean results was harder work, stronger products, and strict schedules. I was wrong about all three. The right way is less product, more patience, and consistent attention to what actually needs it. That is all. That is the whole lesson, and it took me more than half a century to learn it plainly. The cleaning industry sold us suffering and called it clean. It sold us heavy buckets and harsh chemicals and complicated schedules, and we accepted it because we did not know there was another way. There is another way. It is quieter. It is easier on your hands, and the results are just as good. In most cases better, because you are not leaving residue behind or scratching surfaces in your frustration. If something in today's video shifted something for you, if you recognized yourself in one of these mistakes, leave me a comment and tell me which one. And if you have not subscribed yet, I hope you will, because this channel is for women like us, women who have been doing this work for decades, who love a clean home, and who deserve methods that do not cost us our health to use.